There's growing evidence that Chinese soldiers
90,000 children have developed kidney stones after drinking Sun Blue milk formula.
Prominent human rights activist Hu Jia has been charged with inciting subversion of state power.
69,000 people have died from the Sichuan earthquake.
Military surgeon had 8 Chinese citizens killed.
Thousands of poultry have been slaughtered in order to stave off bird flu.
Real stories, real lives, happening inside China today. Hello and welcome to the beginning of another week of Inside China Today. I'm your host, Daniel Tang. In this episode, the price of the H1N1 vaccine jumps after the first reported death from the flu. And 2 Falun Gong practitioners prosecuted. Let's just go straight behind the Great Wall this episode. I'll be bringing you this first story on the H1N1 flu, also known as swine flu. On Tuesday, the Tibetan Autonomous Region's Health Ministry reported that a patient with H1N1 flu died on October 4th. It was the first reported swine flu death in China. In Sichuan Province, it's been reported that a number of hospitals have raised the cost of the H1N1 vaccine in the wake of the outbreak. The Chinese Center for Disease Control and Prevention verified on Tuesday the first H1N1 flu death in mainland China. It follows a spike in reported cases around the country. Pharmacy owner Mr. Li from Sichuan says there are many H1N1 cases in Mianyang city. While vaccine shortages have pushed the price up, it's still cheaper to get the vaccine from a pharmacy than from a hospital. Mr. Li said there were over 100 cases in Mianyang. Basically, each vaccine shot costs 50 yuan. 3 shots is 150 yuan. It can boost people's immunity, that's why it's popular. If you get the shots in hospital, each shot is over 100 yuan. The vaccine supplies ran out a few days ago. Now the prices go up every month. 10 days ago, it was 45 yuan, now it's 50. In Sichuan Province, there have been reports of widespread H1N1 outbreaks in local schools. Many colleges have begun quarantining schools and the traditional October vacation has been cancelled. Some middle schools, which suspended classes in September, have since resumed. Parents are complaining about the information blockade by authorities. A teacher from Mianyang said there was one case in the school, and the school has now been closed for people's safety. Students are prohibited from going out. The middle schools have also gone on break. First was the Mianyang Cultural Middle School. Now Mianyang School has resumed classes. Also, there are rumors of needle attacks in Nanchong. Currently, students are not allowed to discuss these matters. All school gates are guarded by teachers and security guards. A parent of a Beichuan Middle School student, Mr. Yang, said the Mianyang Changhong Training Center, Beichuan Middle School and High School all apparently had bad conditions. The students all say there are no cases of fever, but there are actually many cases, according to Mr. Yang. Last month, a few students were taken to the hospital. The school would not let them go. The students are only allowed out on October 15th. To pay the school fees, parents have to make a phone call and wait for teachers to notify them before the students can come to the gate. The school has banned the use of telephones. One Mianyang resident commented on the situation, saying, "I feel that this rate of transmission is rather fast. The students in Beichuan Middle School, because it's closed off, it's not so serious. However, the school in Leigu, the teachers have organized to purchase a thermometer for each student. The schools are closed off, and there are not really anyone going in and out." So far, 76 schools in Sichuan Province have reported a total of 500 cases. The tally for the province stands at 706. 71% of those affected are found in schools. You're listening to Inside China Today on the SOH Radio Network. We bring you the latest story on the suppression of the spiritual practice Falun Gong in China. This time, a mother and daughter have been detained and are facing charges for practicing Falun Gong. Matthew Yitzma with this report.
2 Falun Gong practitioners, Li Yaohu and daughter Zhang Yibo, were unlawfully taken from their home in Shanghai by the Public Security Sub-Bureau and are facing a legal prosecution. At present, they are still detained in Shuhui District Detention Center. Her son, Zhang Juwan, who teaches at the University of California, appealed for bail but was rejected without reason by the authorities. He called for a stop to the evil dictatorship of the Chinese Communist regime. Mr. Juwan cannot understand why authorities illegally arrested and detained Falun Gong practitioners. He said, "They arrested those people, who are better than good people. Firstly, they cannot justify the reason. Secondly, according to its own constitution in mainland China, it is impossible to justify because the constitution provides the rights to its people so that the people can have freedom of belief and religions. Then why can we not believe in Falun Gong? Thus, from now on, we will start to demand the release of my mother and sister, without guilt, immediately." He had been demanding the release of his mother and sister from the Shuhua district government. However, there was no outcome regardless of the avenue he went through. He said, "At present, regardless of how many phone calls we make, the only response is the phone being hung up as soon as I mentioned my mother's and sister's name. Sometimes they even said malicious words to me after I had called many times. Furthermore, we wanted to go for bail. As soon as our case was passed to the prosecutor's office, we immediately put forward the request for bail. Xu Zhanghui is the prosecutor who undertook the case. After about 10 days he rejected our application. He did not even detail any legal reason for the rejection. Furthermore, we felt that it is unfair as it did not accord with the law. We had one more right to appeal. However, they directly denied that right." According to Mr. Juwan, the Chinese Communist authorities did not look at the people's standpoint and did not work for the people but stand in opposition, even persecuting the people. "All my family is in Shanghai. They are Chinese citizens and should be treated with rationality and legitimacy. Another thing is that we felt our basic human rights have been seriously infringed upon. During the arrest, they just break into people's houses as they wish. They take away anything they want. Our basic rights have been violated and we feel that our personal freedom has been violated. I hope that they can return our personal freedom and protect our safety," he said. Lawyer Zhang Juanli said that in accordance with China's constitution, the evidence of the prosecutor's office should be examined before being passed to the court. If there is not enough evidence, it should be dismissed. However, until now, the prosecutor's office has given no clear decision. This is Matthew Yitzma reporting for the SOH Wellington.
Sadly, that brings an end to this Inside China Today. I must apologize for the length. It was a bit shorter than usual, but we promise that our next few episodes will be even more enlightening and interesting. That concludes this show, and I hope you have a very nice day. I've been your host, Daniel Tang, and I'm from the SOH Radio Network. Thank you for listening to Inside China Today on the SOH Radio Network.